All right. So once again, good evening po sa ating lahat. Welcome to another session of Data Masters, brought to you by Data Engineering Pilipinas. So I'm Yui. I'm one of your hosts tonight. So we're also joined with Matt, so who's also been here sharing nag-tech 10 kanina. So for those who are new here, so Data Masters is a community-driven initiative by DEP that brings together a dedicated group of individuals. So here in Data Masters, we share our passion for honing project presentation, interview skills, and knowledge sharing in this fully supportive and collaborative environment. So it is our learning and sharing space where community members and invited speakers walk us through various topics in data engineering, analytics, AI, and related fields. Tonight's topic I'm excited because tonight's topic is a good foundational topic and something that will enrich all of us. So we will learn about data exploration and the data science lifecycle. Our speaker later, Sir Maki, will share with us what this framework and process looks like. Before we get started, I just want to share a few quick reminders po. No? So, number one, please keep your mics muted during the talk unless you're asking a question. But you can type your questions anytime in the chat, and then we'll have a Q&A portion later after the session. And lastly po, so the session is being recorded so that you can watch the replay later in our DEP channels on YouTube. So as I mentioned earlier, we're also here today with Matt, so who's going to manage the chats and be our technical resource. So FYI din po, yung magandang posters natin sa social media, si Matt din po yung nag-design nun. So yay, thank you. Ayun. So, alright, let's now move on to the main event. So, our speaker for tonight, si Engineer Bob Matthew Sunga, or Sir Maki for short, is a full-time tech hub engineer with a solid 14 years of experience in IT. That's a lot. But not only that, no, he's also a part-time faculty for DLSU and NBS College. But that's not it, because he's also currently doing his master's in data science at the Asian Institute of Management. So super busy po ni sir. So we really appreciate you for taking your time then to share with us tonight. So let's give a warm virtual welcome to Sir Maki. And so before I give the floor to Sir Maki, so I just want to share then. So there's some materials that he shared. For those of you who are on your PC, this is a Google Drive link that you can use to follow. There are some visuals here, but then it's also focus 80% of our attention then to our resource speakers. So yeah, I'll be sharing, and then Sir Maki, the floor is yours po. Thank you.
Hello? How about this one? Naririnig na ako? Ayun, okay. Sorry. Alright, so thank you everyone for that introduction. Actually, I've been looking for an opportunity to have a series of topics with Data Engineering Pilipinas ever since it was founded. Kaya lang kasi medyo busy talaga sa work, and a lot of things happen, but I really love to share a lot of things that's happening, and also yung mga learnings ko as I go on. So this is really a good opportunity for me to share with you a lot of things yon. And as you see, madaming developments na nangyayari ngayon sa world ng technology, and I'm really inspired by the group's effort to handle this kind of community we're in, learning, sharing, and a lot of interactions happening to those who are with the same interest. So I really how do you call this? Would like to share with you some foundational topic na alam ko lahat baka makaka-appreciate ito. So can you see the slides right now? Ayan. So our topic for tonight will be data exploration and in the data science life cycle. So the PPDAC and the DSLC. Actually, baka hindi magkasya yung data science life cycle. So doon muna tayo magpo-focus sa PPDAC kasi this one is really important for all of those who are handling data, whether you are a data engineer, you are a data scientist, analyst, or whatever. For as long as you're handling data, no, you would need to have a foundation and skills of the PPDAC. So ano nga ba yung PPDAC? It was introduced by wait lang. Saan ba yun? It was introduced by sa New Zealand. It's a way or a framework of thought on how to approach problem solving whenever data is involved. Okay? Ginamit to ng maraming mga individuals and professionals, and one of the most prominent no na casing itatackle natin ngayon using PPDAC, no? So without i-share ko na sa inyo. So for now, let's open na muna a slide muna, no? I would like to ask everyone muna, saan tayong city nang galing? Can you type it in where you are joining from today? Anong city or country tayo, so that I will know kung gano'n ba kalayo tayo ngayon on our scope of reach right now. So yan, Las Piñas, Parañaque, yan, QC, very good. Dumaguete, yan, very good. Newcastle upon Tyne sa this is in London or in England ba? Yan, Pangasinan, Cavite, Davao, yan, very good. So we're all over the place, and it's really good that Data Pilipinas really handles this kasi napakahirap mag-gather sa isang physical place. Buti na lang we have the Discord, no, to tackle this kind of topic, no, foundational topic. So may quote ako ngayon sa natin, sa slide natin, no. And I would like you to to imbue it in yourselves, no. And compare nyo to sa mga narinig nyo na before na mga quotes about data. So sabi dito, the numbers have no way of speaking for themselves. We speak for them, and we imbue them with meaning. So I would like you to internalize this, no? And I would like to get your opinion on the word honest data. So type one word you associate with the word honest data. So ano kaya ibig sabihin ng honest data? No, I'd like you to chat on one word. Honest data. What do we mean by this? No, accurate. Yan. No? When you say honest, it's accurate. No personal bias. Yan. Ano pa kaya? No, we have we have this quote from Nate Silver, The Signal and the Noise. It's really a good book for those who are pursuing statistics and data science and analyst. Of course, kapag data engineering ka din, no, you see a lot of things happening. Mag-iba yung view nyo dito. So, raw, pure, authentic, veracious, trusted. Yan. So, narinig nyo na ba yung ibig sabihin, yung quote dati na data speaks for itself. Diba? May ganun eh. Diba? Before, no, makikita natin, let the data speak for itself. Actually, hindi eh. Diba? Hindi siya totoo. And we can see that this kind of quotation, no, this kind of thing, no, na sinasabi natin data speak for itself, hindi siya totoo eh. We can see that, no, yung data is actually in the hands of the one who is interpreting it. Correct? No, they can use it to obscure it towards their own selfish motives, or to shed light to something that is mysterious or kind of obscure din sa site nila, no? And with this, it is the data scientists, it is the data engineers, it is the data analysts who actually imbue them with meaning. We speak for them. Diba? However, there is what we call, gusto ko yung part na sinabi dito that the numbers have no way to speak for themselves. Rather, we speak for them. Diba? It speaks out of responsibility. No, etong line na to, no, it gives us or pressures us or entails us with the responsibility that data doesn't magically become insight, no? Rather, people interpret it, and sometimes, carelessly pa nga, no? Our role is to make numbers honest. And to add context, reveal uncertainty, and resist the urge to cherry pick. No, such a mindset will guide us how we can threshold and present conclusions today. So ito yung pinaka-essence ng PPDAC. For us to be able to provide honest data, no? To provide good context without any personal bias. Correct? And provide a complete and authentic interpretation of what the data really is speaking about. So, for tonight's instrument of what do you call this? For tonight's instrument of discussion. Okay? So, have you heard about the story of Harold Shipman? Meron ba dito nakakakilala kay Harold Shipman? Siyempre, huwag nyo muna i-google. Huwag nyo muna i-google. Ikakwento ko sa inyo to. Pero may nakarinig naman sa inyo about the story of Harold Shipman. Kapitbahay. Oo, malapit nga sa inyo to. No. Yan. So, here's the hook, no? Death in one clinic is quite ordinary. No, kapag halimbawa may nangyaring hindi maganda, no, sa isang hospital or sa isang clinic, hindi siya ordinary eh. Tama? Kasi we know that those kinds of places really may mga ganito talaga nangyari. Until a denominator spoke or something common spoke. Diba? Once we compared observed data to expected deaths from that clinic's age and sex mix, there's some pattern that we cannot stop looking at. Some patterns stop looking random. And this is the power of the fair baselines. No, you can't call something high or low without an expectation. So let's keep the word the word denominator for the rest of the day. Okay? So when we say baseline in your work, ano ibig nyo kaya sabihin nun? No? What do we mean by the baseline? Pag sinabi natin baseline sa mga work natin, when we say baseline, ano kaya yun? You can type into the chat. Sorry, medyo interactive tayo sa pag-chat. Okay. So, gusto ko medyo nagpa-participate. Even in my class, I really force my students to participate. Starting point of reference. Standard operating procedure. No, bare minimum. Yan. Minimum expectation. Yan. Very good. No? Maganda yung natin. So, we have that kind of Now, we're gonna be delving in sa story ni Harold Shipman. And further on, titignan natin kung ano pa yung mga nakita nila doon sa mga yon. No? So, the deaths came softly. So, medyo dramatic yung entrance natin. No? So, the death came softly like lights walking out down a long corridor. Nothing to see, nothing to fear, until the numbers began to whisper. No? Ratios that should have been slept stirred, a funnel, flat sprouted, a spraying that, then another escaping the cone like footprints in the fresh ash. Makikita natin to later kung paano to nagkaroon ng changes sa ganito. The poison limits, normally calm as a stone, shivered. Audit logs, those silent hallways of time showed doors open after they should have been locked. Entries backdated with the surgeon's steadiness and a liar's patience. No one name, no one smoking gun, just a pattern that should not exist, a rhythm out of place, a cumulative sum line that would not stop climbing, and we know that statistic does not accuse. Rather, it tells us to look again. No. And when the investigators tagged the thread of the figures offered, the tidy notes frayed, the stories unspooled, and the ordinary deaths became a single patient shadow standing just behind the doctor's man. So, what triggered? Si Harold Shipman, is a UK family doctor na na-arrest during 1998 and convicted in 2000. The courts proved that he has murdered 15 people. Pero they suspected them to be more. The point for us isn't sensationalism. It is a reminder that pattern recognition requires structure, timelines, expected rates, and triangulation across a data source. That data doesn't accuse. It asks us to look again. Diba? Mayroon ba kayong experience wherein tinitingnan niyo yung data pero parang hindi niyo magets, pero nung ginraph niyo na siya, parang something is off or you saw a pattern? Meron ba kayong ganung mga experiences, no? So, most of us, no, those who are handling data, madalas nangyayari to, no? Na the table doesn't really tell us anything, but when we plot it out, no, something is happening. It tells us a story, no? So, yan. So, the subsequent Shipman inquiry, no, concluded that he had killed at least 215 more patients. No, si Harold Shipman, no, isa siyang doctor or a general practitioner sa Britain, no, and he is one of the most prolific serial killers there was. Why? Because he is a doctor, no? And the mode of ang modus operandi niya the modus operandi or MO niya is that ang target niya ay later makita natin, no? Makita natin later kung ano yung mga target niya. Sino yung mga tinarget niya, no? And then dito nakita, no, when they plotted the victims or the supposedly victims na hindi pa yung tinitingnan nila as a victim. Yung mga yung mga tinitingnan pa lang nila yung mga tingin namin victim to, no? Yan, tinitingnan pa lang nila. Wala sila masyado nakitang pattern until kinompare nila ito sa what we call yung kanina, yung denominator, no? Yung reference point. When they put it together, yan. No, hindi siya auto. Scary, no? No, actually, share ko to sa mga students ko is at the beginning of our class. But yun nga, to tell them that statistics and the PPDAC, no, is so fundamental that it can uncover a murder mystery like this one, diba? So ayan, no? And then makita natin, no, ito yung derived. Actually, na-share ko sa inyo yung lahat ng mga datasets ni Harold Shipman. You can actually explore it later on, no? So these are the derived dataset based on the Harold Shipman inquiry, no? Totoong data po ito, itong part na to. No, yan. These are the list of people na naging patient ni Harold Shipman, no? And then kailan siya kung ano yung age nila, saan sila namatay, ano yung mga naging decision ng court, no? The year of their death, and then their gender, of course, and then yan, yung age brackets nila na pwede nyo tignan later on. Okay? Now, if we're gonna be looking at this, parang, okay, sige, ang dami yung pinatay. No? Parang gano'n makita natin. But supposedly, walang pattern, diba? But, if we're gonna be plotting it, and this is the first thing na ginagawa ng PPDAC, to check. Ano masasabi natin? What can we see muna? If we're gonna look at the first pattern of exploration. Meron ba tayo nakikita ang pattern? So we can see here, no, yung blue are those, lahat ng age yan. No, and then the purple are the age of the women and the green are the age of men. Mostly women. No? Ano pa? Good person is old women. Yan. Kita natin, no? Yan. Ano pa? Old female. No? Women majority. Do you think, why is it that madalas ang victim niya is old women? No, balikan natin itsura ni Harold Shipman. Why do you think it's the old women that he targeted? He targeted old women because of his charms. Diba? Yeah, that's right. No one would wonder. He's an old doctor, all smiling. Di ba? He is just all smiling. Lagi lang siya nakangiti. He's very helpful, no? That no one would notice, no? Until such time na meron na ang nakahuli talaga sa kanya is that when he was caught forging the will of one of his victim, yung latest victim niya. Finorge niya yung will, no? Parang nilagay niya doon na ang magmamana ng mga estate niya ay si Harold Shipman before siya mamatay. And during this time, no, nagbabahay-bahay siya. No, he's a doctor that visits old people around around his place. And you would not notice him because just an old doctor doing his rounds every day. Pero statistics will not lie. Diba? So, tingnan natin, no? So, ano ba yung PPDAC? No, the PPDAC framework is actually problem, plan, data, analysis, conclusion. No? It was formulated and popularized by Chris Wilde and Maxime Fakach of the University of Auckland, no? As a model for the statistical inquiry cycle. Okay? In their widely cited 1999 paper, Statistical Thinking in Empirical Inquiry, no, you can check their papers, no. Hindi lang ako nakapag-download dahil medyo nakulang ako ng oras, but it was adopted across New Zealand education. And you can see that no, yung New Zealand is one of the best in terms of statistical inquiry. No, sila yung mga matataas yung mga standards when it comes to statistics because they ganito sila mag-inquire ng statistics or ganito nila tinuturo ang statistics at saka ang data analysis, no? Ito yung introduction nila, the PPDAC, not the other way around na ginagawa natin sa Philippines right now na nagbibigay tayo ng terms, no? Kabisaduhin nyo to, blah blah blah, ganyan. No, they start with the PPDAC framework. Wherein, first thing you need to do is to understand the requirements or understand the problem. So, kailangan alam ninyo at naintindihan ninyo ang problem. Okay? Next is the planning. No? What are the methods that we're gonna be using? Ano yung mga metrics natin? What are the error thresholds? Is ethics needed? No? Meron ba tayong mga tatamaan ng mga ethical standards? No? So, all of these are included within the plan. The data, you need to also know kung ano yung mga sources. Saan natin kukunin yung data? Diba? Paano natin lilinisin yung data? What are the derivations of the data? Mga definitions whatsoever. Lahat ng tungkol sa data nandito. Okay? Lastly, di ba pala lastly? Next is the analysis. No? We have the descriptive. Ano ba tatargetin natin in analyze? Are we gonna be first doing descriptive analytics? No? Mag-i-infer na ba tayo agad? Ano ba i-compare natin? Then, feedback. Nakita nyo na parang paikot-ikot, no? Of course, as you go to the as you go by each step, may mga madidiscover kayo na need din yung balikan. Baka kailangan to sa problem. Baka kailangan to sa planning ulit. No? Baka meron tayong dapat tanggalin. No? Especially kapag data, usually nag-overdrive tayo sa pagkuha ng data. Baka mamaya hindi naman natin kailangan. No? Yung mga ganon, no? And as you go forward, no, makakita tayo ng conclusion in which it answers our problem statement. Yeah, it is an iterative process. No? And this guides us, no? This actually guides the one trying to solve a problem using data and information in a sense of what they call this, a process in which there is an improvement, no, as you go by. Kasi syempre pag nag-conclude ka, baka mamaya, kailangan pa pala natin ng additional na mga data to know more about this. Diba? Hindi doon natatapos yun sa conclusion. You can actually go back to the problem and see, baka meron kami hindi nasagutan. And then go back to the process itself again. Diba? This PPDAC framework really works a lot of things. So, pag kayo nagtithesis kayo, if you're doing thesis, this is one of my encouragement sa mga undergrad to do this kapag gumagawa sila ng mga data frameworks na mga gagamitan nila for their problem solving. They should use PPDAC because this really helps to solve and actually drill down further sa mga problems nila. Now, in case of the Harold Shipman, no, tingnan natin kung paano siya nilagay. So, we have this. So, ang problem nila is the mortality in his practice abnormally high given the patient mix and time. Of course, as a doctor, hindi naman may iwasan na may mamatay doon sa ano niya, sa mga kamay niya. Kasi nga, syempre, he's a doctor. No, may mga times talaga na they really cannot do anything. However, there is a question that, is it abnormally high? No, abnormally high ba? Kasi syempre pag abnormally high, baka may ginagawa tong taong to. Kung bakit ang dami namamatay masyado, 'di ba? And ano yung kailangan nilang gawin, no? Ang ginawa nila is that the age and the sex standardization and expected deaths, no? The Poisson funnel plots later on, i-check natin to. The cumulative sum and the to protect the audit trail. So ito yung mga hahanapin nila, no? They need to document or to inquire yung mga alleged victims and mga naging patients ni Harold Shipman, and then they need to get this information, their sex, their age, and then the time of their deaths, no? And of course, expected deaths, no? Ng taon na yon. Of course, yung sa mga nasa medical field, they have this expected deaths for certain practice, no? They have some study on in that na tinitingnan nila na parang this year ang expected death is ganito, and they will check, no, kung nagpas ba doon or hindi. The Poisson limit, this is more of the statistical side, but we will be getting a shortcut on this, pero later on maghihingi ako ng additional time for the topic discussion ng Poisson funnel plots, no, para iano lang natin later on, papakita rin natin siya. The cumulative sum, and of course yung audit trail, yung kung ano ba yung mga naging certificate of death, no, yung mga records niya, mga clinical records, mga death certificates na inisyu niya, lahat yon kinuha doon sa Harold Shipman, the Shipman inquiry, no, and then they tabulated it and they analyzed all of it, no. And then ano ba yung mga data na kailangan? So ito yung mga hinanap nila, yung mga records ng mga patient, yung mga registry nila, yung pag-plot ng mga deaths per month, per year, mga demographics, mga important analytics items, and then cost of death, no, din nila sa Harold Shipman inquiry, and then syempre yung mga audit logs, no, yung mga kailan pinalitan, ano nangyari, kailan to, may mga ganung mga klaseng mga trails, no, they all got it in the syempre hindi lang mismong statistics ang titignan nila, no, they need a solid evidence to convict, no. Pero dito sa na to, sa case na to, the PPDAC help, no, guide, no, the investigators towards the correct path, no. Nakita nila using this, no. So ano yung mga inanalyze nila? Yung mga observed and expected death, nila yon, no, yung ratios na yon. And then mga outliers, no, they also align mortality spikes, no, and mga other sensitivity checks like the Poisson. No, later titignan natin siya. And then ano yung mga naging conclusion nila, no? In the Harold Shipman case, no, they said that there is a multiple statistical flag, no, and forensic corroboration. Ibig sabihin nito, they need to initiate clinical audit and legal process because of all of these statistics, no. Ito yung naging basehan para mag-further investigate sila, no, to deep dive doon sa mga ginagawa ni Harold Shipman. Pero ano ba itsura nun? Ano ba itsura nung statistics na nag-cause para kay Harold Shipman ma-convict eventually? So ganito lang siya. Pinat lang nila una yung scatter plot. What can you tell about the scatter plot? Dito sila na unang nagulat nung pinlot nila yung scatter plot. Actually, binawasan ko to. Tinanggal ko yung parang mga bar sa gilid. I just focus on the scatter plot. Pero, same thing. No? Nagulat sila nung pinlot nila yung scatter plot. Why? Why do you think nagulat sila? Hindi sila nagulat na nakita nila yung table. Nagulat sila na nakita nila yung scatter plot. Why? What does the scatter plot tell you. Yan. Ang daming old women. What else? Pag nag-scatter plot tayo, no, yung mga nagma-machine learning dyan, ano nakita natin? Every other year, actually magandang ano yun, magandang ano, meron siya mga times na hindi siya pumatay talaga. No. Ano pa? Ano nakita natin sa scatter plot? If you're gonna be looking at it lang, as it is, tumaas ng mid-1990s, yan. Ano pa? Sa mga naggagawa ng mga machine learning dyan, no, we can see that there is what we call, starts with the letter C, there is clustering, di ba? There is a clustering happening. Mostly with the age of women that is what? Above 60. No, kung titingnan natin, above 60. And it is clustering at around 1990s. Di ba? Tama? Nakita natin, no, na ang pinakadami na activities na nangyari is during the era of the 1990s. But if we're gonna look back, no, if we're gonna look back a little bit, no, between 1880s and 1990s, meron din siyang cluster of victims. Tama, no? Highly concentrating on the 70 and 90 years old. And mostly of them are women. Dito sila na shock. They were shocked on this. Sabi nila, never in a doctor's life nagkaroon ng ganitong klaseng abnormality. So dito nila nakita na there is an abnormality really happening doon sa ano. And then they tried to plot it further to prove, no, saan nangyayari yung killings or saan nangyayari yung alleged death, no? And mostly they are at home. Kasi nga si Harold Shipman was a call-on doctor. 'Di ba? Tinatawag siya, he's a home doctor, practitioner, general practitioner siya. Eh nakita natin no, na ang taas. Papapasok yung ba sa bahay yung ganitong klaseng tao pag nalaman mong ganito siya. But during that time, hindi nila kilala si Harold Shipman in a sense na siya pala ay isang killer. So yung mga old women, no, living by themselves na yung iba dito, no, of course, a warm person, no, visiting you, no, asking you how is everything okay, no? Syempre you crave for attention like that. And yun yung ginamit ni Harold Shipman, no? Yun yung ginamit niya. Now let's see, no, during that time, no, tinignan natin, sabi natin kanina, expected death, no? Ano ba itsura na expected death na pinaplot natin from 1975 to 1998? So ganito lang naman siya. This is the expected death. Ibig sabihin, professionals would expect would see that these deaths are quite normal. Ganito yung parang sinabi niya, ganito lang pinapredict na normally ganito kadami yung mamamatay during this time. Parang ganon, no? Parang ito yung tanggap nila na threshold, no, na may mga ganito kadami mamamatay. For example, 1996, there is a chance na 29.2 people around that number, no, will die because of certain ganyan or in such a circumstance, 'di ba? Then ito yung observed death count per year, no, ito yung expected death count per year. So pag tinignan natin sila side by side, pag sinabi natin observe, ito yung totoong nangyari na death per year, no, expected death is yung expected. No, pag tinignan natin sila side by side, no, wala masyado tayo makikitang information. No, parang okay, sige, pataas din sila pareha. So parang normal. But if you're going to put them together in one graphing, makita natin that there is, ano napapansin natin? Can you tell me? Ano nakikita ninyo? There is a spike. That's number one. Very good. There's a spike between 1992 and 1993. overestimated, higher. Okay, ano pa? So there's higher, overestimated. Okay. What else? What else can you bigla nag-spike to 1990, which is similar. Yan. Killing results. So meron tayong nakita that between 1990 to 1998, merong spike na nangyari. Okay? Ano pa? Ratio between expected and observed death. Okay? Ano pa? Ano nakikita natin pa? Sana may makakita. Underestimated. Yeah, underestimated siya. 2 times the death on 1991. Yan. Okay? Overall, ano nakikita ninyo? Sabi kanina ni Adonsky, no? Under. So, what do we mean by this? Underestimation. Ano nakikita natin? If it's underestimation, ano nakikita natin with regards to the observed death versus expected death? There is an upward trend. Yes. Ano pa? Last na. May hinahanap akong word. There is, nag-match yung scatter doon sa spike. Yan. So normally, kapag meron tayong expected death, no, or expected value, usually, dapat yung observation natin is what? Crisscrossing. Diba? The expected. Tama? Kasi nga expected lang siya. That's the mean eh. Tama? It's a mean. That's just the mean. That's just the average expected. Kasi nga, dapat yung observe natin is dapat nag-criss-cross dito. Cross siya then something. Pero, ano mapansin natin sa observed death? There is a consistent, what? Consistent na mas mataas sa observed death over those years. And that's abnormal. Diba? It's abnormal. Okay lang ko siguro may isang spike, tas biglang bababa and everything. But this one is quite consistent. Na nasa taas siya. Tama? Diba? So, something really is happening over this, diba? And the same pattern happens despite the spike. Now, let's see yung Poisson control. Ibig sabihin ng Poisson control, ito yung threshold kung saan ini-expect nila na kapag lumagpas ka dito, there really is something happening. No? At dito magsisimula sila mag-investigate. Kung makikita natin, the Poisson limit is quite higher than expected death or the upper ceiling, na tinatawag natin upper ceiling to, no, makita natin na, okay, hindi naman siya lumagpas di ba? Hindi na siya nagpas, pero, kung titignan ninyo, palapit siya ng palapit. Tama? Palapit siya ng palapit sa upper limit ng Poisson limit. And, nag-cross na nga siya. Dito, sa 1992. Kung saan, the Poisson limit during that time is 48 deaths and the observed death was 50. This sounded the alarm already na merong abnormalities na nangyayari in that place. No, and tignan natin ngayon, no, yung kay Harold Shipman. Ito yung death count, quote unquote, during this time, no, quote unquote yun. Pero napatunayan naman na, no, ito yung death count ni Harold Shipman. If you're gonna look at it as it is lang, no, ito yung mga namatay sa kamay ni Harold Shipman. Kung makikita natin, parang, okay, there's a spike, but it doesn't give us the intuition or the probable cause, kumbaga, to tell that Harold Shipman really is killing the people. Baka mamaya may epidemya pala noong 1995, kaya maraming namatay sa kamay niya. Di ba? Possible na ganun or baka dito yung COVID number 1 or something like that. Hindi natin sure. Tama? Kasi nga, this is just the death count under his name. Pero, kapag pinatter natin siya sa excess death, ibig sabihin ng excess death, ito yung difference between yung excess death is the difference between the observed death and the expected death, yung difference between the two. Pag tinignan natin siya against it, ano masasabi niyo? There really is something happening. Tama? Kasi lagpas siya lumalagpas na siya. Correct? And the pattern tells us that This is Harold Shipman moving. Diba? Ngayon, tingnan natin with the Poisson limit for individual. It's a dark green. No? Grabe, diba? Tignan mo. Pagdating ng 1984, dito dapat nahuli na siya ng 1985. Diba? Nakita natin, diba? That there really is something happening. Yes, they become... No, what happened is, may nag-o-observe na sa mga nangyayari na to before pa mangyari yung nag-cause sa kanila para magsampa ng case. Kasi syempre, sa law, hindi ka pwedeng basta magsabi lang na, eto, tignan mo, may spike, investigate natin. Hindi pwedeng ganun eh. Kailangan meron kang cause eh. 'Di ba? Na dapat mag-investigate. And because of that, because of what happened with the Harold Shipman case, actually maraming mga batas na at least sa UK na inamend with regards to the practice. And naging mahigpit sila on this part. So kung titingnan natin, nagkaroon na ng spike, lagpas na siya, and kapag pinagsama-sama natin ng data, it really points out that Harold Shipman really is doing something. At ano yung nag-force pa further doon sa case ni Harold Shipman na talagang dapat investigahan yung iba pang mga cases niya, yung mga iba pang hinawakan niya, the cumulative deaths, The cumulative deaths during that time, binilang nila, this is the expected cumulative deaths, Ibig sabihin, expected lang to, ito yung average. If they put it together with the death of Harold Shipman, cumulative deaths over the year, it is the one that causes the increase. And because of this, they launched the Harold Shipman Inquiry. Nung nakita nila to, when they saw this pattern, si Professor Spiegelhalter ang isa sa mga lead ng the Shipman Inquiry. Siya yung isa sa mga lead statisticians, and he wrote the book The Art of Statistics. You can read all through the details of the Harold Shipman case in the first chapter of his book, and it's really, really good. Napakagandang book na yan. You really need to buy it. The Art of Statistics. You really change your mind towards sa mga statistics natin. And nakita natin, na this kind of plot, nakita natin, it really does point out to Harold Shipman. And if we're gonna be looking at the analysis, syempre, as we go on, yung sulat natin yung analysis natin, multiple mid-late 1990s years breached the exact Poisson upper seeding limit, or the upper counter limit. The cumulative sum rises steadily and crosses a reasonable threshold well before 1998, indicating that there is a sustained excess mortality, not a single year blip. Ibig sabihin, yung nangyayari talaga. Diba? Hindi lang siya parang, ano lang yan, it's just a buffer, it's just a fluke. No, there's a sustained sabihin talaga may ginagawa, may nangyayari, yung mga na-victimize. Time of day and day of week clustering, Furthermore pa to, this is different, hindi natin ito napakita, but when they put on the time of death of those people, ito yung ni Spiegelhalter, when they put on the time of death and the day of the week na namatay yung mga tao, are the times wherein Harold Shipman was there. Ito yung talaga nag-incriminate na talaga sa kanya. And there is a heavy concentration in this narrow window. Yan, grabe, And the HSEC, reweighting and removal, nung pinagpalit-palit nila yon, may mga ginawa silang mga statistical methods, mga data analytics method, it does not erase the signal. It really does point out that Shipman is during that time allegedly murdering his victims or murdering his patients. Ano yung conclusion natin? Taken together, the magnitude, persistence, and pattern of excess deaths in Shipman's patient list are incompatible with random fluctuation. Ibig sabihin, hindi to random. There really is a plausible case mix of differences. There is really something happening. The exact Poisson test identify multiple annual exceedances and sequential methods show a prolonged period of abnormal mortality culminating in the late 1990s. Ibig sabihin, nandun yung pinakamataas na concentration na mga ginawa niya. Diba? Therefore, no, using the PPDAC framework, the data-driven conclusion is that Shipman's practice exhibited a statistically extreme, sustained, and pattern elevation index. Aligning with the non-statistical evidence, of course, ito yung mga ito yung mga nakita na ng mga substantial evidence na hindi kasali sa statistics, but it pointed out, no, yung mga pinirmahan niya, yung mga initial yung death certificate, no, this statistical case is not merely significant, but rather decisively across multiple mutually reinforcing tests. Ibig sabihin, this statistical method led to the uncovering of the mystery of Harold Shipman. And it brought justice to the victims. How serious it is, no, that we know such a thing, no, and in a disciplined way, that we can uncover a lot of things using the right framework, the right way of thinking, diba? And even right now, sa mga nangyayari sa atin, sa bansa natin, if we just need to know how to use data, no, we will uncover a lot of things, no. It will uncover a lot of things. Kaya nga, di ba, balikan natin yung sinabi kanina, no, the data doesn't speak for itself. We speak for them. No, tayo yung nagbibigay ng mga meaning dito. Sinabi ba bigla dito nung nakita natin tong spike na to? Sinabi ba ng data, oy, may pinapatay si Harold Shipman? Wala naman ganun, di ba? But it gives us an intuition to lead, no, towards the right direction. Tama? Nakita mong ganito na. Nakita mo, shucks, na naman nga namamatay din sa niyo. Ano matitignan natin to provide evidence, no? So they need to get the death certificates, clinical records, and check kung tama ba, does it jive with this one? And it did. It did. Kaya, it was judged nung 1998 and 2000. It was, he was convicted of murder. No, hindi naman lahat ng victim niya napatunayan. But, at least 15, and some of the cases are still running. No? May mga ilan pang mga na co-conviction. Although patay na si Harold Shipman, but his case still lingers in the minds of a lot of statisticians, data analysts, data scientists, kasi it is statistics or it is the data that brought, no, the people in the investigation the right direction. What to take? Saan tayo titingin? Ano yung mga hahanapin natin? It's the data, no, that told them the story, no? And they tell the story further. Ano ba bang kailangan nating mahanap from here? Galing, no? Any questions? So, ganun po gumamit ng PBDAC. So, may question ba tayo on this? No? Yan. So, for us, no, for an activity, syempre, dapat tignan din natin, practicein din natin to, no? Kung ano yung ano natin. So, meron akong binigay na dataset. The Penguins dataset. So, mas cool naman. Dito patayan naman. No? I would like just to grab your attention on that part muna. How important it is. Pero syempre, gagamitin natin. Hindi naman pa incriminating. No? Penguins na tayo. This was given to us by one of our professors, the Penguins dataset, no, kung saan we can imbue yung PPDAC, no, in solving the problems of the Penguins dataset. So the Penguins dataset tells us, no, asan ba yan? Wait lang, hanapin ko. Papakita ko lang data natin dyan. Actually, it was given to you. You can practice it. Wait lang You can actually practice it after this or as we go. Pero ito siya. As yung Penguins. Wala yung mga Penguins. Wait lang. Ayun, Penguins dataset. Ayan, Penguins dataset. Ito siya. So we have this Penguins dataset. You can practice this now if you would like to. Activity. So meron tayong species ng penguin. Saang island siya nakabilang. The culmen is the beak. Yung beak length niya, yung tuka. And then, depth ng beak niya. And then, yung flippers, length ng flipper, their body mass in grams, and their sex or their gender. Yan. So, ito yung yung pinaka dataset niya. Okay? So, you can check on this. And then, ano yung mga natin? Ano yung mga problems natin? Usually, you can put on whatever problem that you would like to further check. But this is a sample lang. No? Would like to understand how penguin size traits vary across species and islands and identify simple relationship such as whether the flipper length is a good predictor of body mass. So, if you're doing predictive analytics, this is a good problem solving type. No? Next, ano yung plan natin? So, normalize the column and clean the data set by retaining rows with complete values for the following. Ito yun. So, baka meron kasi dyan, check nyo kasi baka may dot dyan, or may zero, or merong blank data. So, aalisin yun. So, you need to do data cleaning for that. Okay. Summarize the central tendencies. Yan. Visualize distribution and quantify the body mass. Yan. Titingnan natin to later on. So, paano itsura niya? Ano yung data natin? Siyempre, yung data natin is the column. Ay, itong penguin size, the CSV itself. No? And then, you can try to clean the data. And then, check for missingness and overview. Okay, so siyempre, ayusin natin yung data natin. Next is analysis. Ano yung mga titingnan natin? So, ito yung analysis part. So, you need to graph, no? The body mass of all the penguins, no? So, pinakamadami is here, between 3,500 to 4,000 grams. Yan. So, body mass per species. So, makita natin may outlier under chinny strap species. Bakit kaya? No? Yan. And then, sample size per species. So, sino yung may pinakamaraming sample size? So, si Adelie. Siya yung pinakamadami. And then, of course, the famous scatter plotting, no? Makita natin scatter plot. Body mass versus flipper is a good example, no? You can deduce your data here, like for example, mas malalaki talaga ang mga Gen 2 species, no? And as you decrease the flipper length, no, yung mga Adelie and chinny strap na ang nakita natin mga species with that. So, kung nag-machine learning kayo, you can actually use this as a good practice kasi meron tayo, pag binursus naman natin yung bill length and depth, no, makita naman natin yung clustering method. Makita natin yung mga clustering na nangyayari. Okay, so this is a good way for you to learn further kung ano yung, or to learn further in terms of investigation and data exploration. So, ano yung analysis type natin? Counts per species and per island are in the display table. Yan. By species differences, box plots show clear that there is a difference across species. Yan. Gen 2 being the heaviest on average. Then, relationship, there is a relationship. There is a positive association. In the culmen and depth, there is a clustering, no, for use for classification. So, if you would like to classify those penguins, yan. Check niyo yung culmen nila. Yan. So, ano yung conclusion natin? There is a systematically difference in the body length or the body mass and the flipper length. And it's a strong predictor of body mass. Yan. Biometrics also separate species nicely in a 2D space. Ibig sabihin, yung mga nakita natin kanina, this is the conclusion. And it answers the further questions natin. Yan. So, I would like you to, di naman today, but if you have time, syempre it's already 8 o'clock. We don't have that much time to share your analysis and your conclusion with regards to the penguins data set. Kasi maganda activity to. If you're also a professor like me, this is a very good way to engage your students. Dahil cute ng mga penguins. Yung iba naglalagay ng picture, yung iba naglalagay sila ng mga kung anong mga items dyan. And they're able to imagine it kasi nga, it's a species, no? So there is another, the iris data set. This is one more classical example. But the penguins, no? It's really nice to have that over a class, or if you would like to share it with your colleagues or your practice sets, please do so, no? Papunta to sa machine learning itong data set na to. And syempre in data exploration, what we have is of course not just the basic statistics, but even the analysis part kung saan nakita natin yung mga patterns like that. Okay? So I think that ends my presentation for tonight. Hindi ko na na-discuss yung data science life cycle, but I will be asking for another time with you guys again pag di na busy ulit to discuss the data science life cycle because that is more another fundamentals for us to ano. So thank you very much for listening, and I really appreciate you um, being here tonight. Pinaghandaan ko po ito. Nag-isipan ko po ito mabuti on how I can deliver this sa community natin to help us. With that further ado, thank you very much everyone and have a good night. And hope you appreciate this effort.
And thank you so much po, Sir Maki. And sobrang ganda po ng presentation po natin. So, if you have some questions po, you can send us din sa chat. We'll also try to accommodate some of them, and then also we will let Sir Maki know then. Sir Maki is also in our Discord and Data Engineering Pilipinas group chat. Yan. So, ang dami yung mga first time din po na nandito. Yan. So, super appreciate po namin to. Ang ganda ng topic, no? Ayan. So, yes, if you have any further questions po, feel free to send us some questions sa Data Masters na group chat sa Facebook, here on Discord, or you can also post din po sa Data Engineering Facebook group. And so,
by the way, just to take this opportunity to promote, I'm doing study in my master's in Asian Institute of Management. So those who would like to do further studies, you can go to Asian Institute of Management website aim.edu and check kung ano yung mga offerings ng school doon. You can also apply for scholarships, for student support and things like that. Marami namang pwedeng makapag-help sa atin doon. But to tell you honestly, AIM is one of the best institute to learn technology together with business analysis and everything kasi they really do focus on teaching us with the best things out there, no? So hopefully may iba ako maging makaklase sa inyo in the next few terms. So please try to inquire with with AIM. So yun lang. Thank you.
Ayan, thank you po yan. If you have any questions po sa AIM, like the curriculum, please feel free to reach out din po kay Sir Maki. Yan. Thank you for sharing po, Sir Maki. Ayan, so I think with that, wala naman tayong questions for today. I think it really speaks kung gaano kaganda yung talk ni Sir, no? So naging Detective Conan tayo. So for tonight, I think that's it po. Thank you so much again to everyone. So we're looking forward to the next Data Masters. So that's gonna be Miss Jean po. And then we'll also be having other events po sa Data Engineering Pilipinas group, the podcast and everything. So please stay tuned po. We'll be doing announcements regularly. So with that po, we want to thank everyone for spending their precious time with us tonight, and have a great rest of the evening to you guys. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sir Maki. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you very much.